Hi, I'm Tracy L. Fisher. Welcome to a Reentry Point of View Unapologetic. I'm here with my man, Darrell Lawrence. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tracy. Thanks for having me.
Man, it's good to have you here. Listen, this gentleman right here, I've been knowing him for a while. We've been meaning to get together. He's a writer, producer. He know how to do plays and stuff like that. I mean, really, he took what we know in the neighborhood as being creative, right? But you put it on paper and stuff. And we here right now with his book, right? Called The Three OGs, right? Tell me about this book right here.
Well, the three OGs,
Yeah.
three OGs, man. It's basically about three gentlemen from the neighborhood down South Philly that talk about their 60-year-old friendship through the course of one hot day in the summer. And basically, they just talk about their childhood, what it was like growing up in South Philly, the gang wars, adolescent years, teenage years, Vietnam War, gentrification, all of those things, politics, political views, things like that, and also police brutality. So it's a great book. They take you on a great journey about history in the course of one day.
So are you originally from South Philly?
Yeah, born and raised, Fifth Street.
Oh, Fifth Street.
Yeah,
Okay,
Fifth
all
Street.
right, okay. So listen, let me ask you this. What made you become a writer?
Through pain,
Through
tragedy.
pain?
Yeah, my sister was murdered.
Oh, wow.
And I was really going through something mentally, and I didn't have an outlet. I didn't have nobody to talk to.
Right.
I felt
understand.
like I didn't feel like talking to my friends because I see how they talk about everybody else's business. So I kept it to myself. I didn't want to go see a psychiatrist because I didn't think nothing was really wrong with me. So I kept it to myself. And then one day, I grabbed a pen and pad and I just started writing my feelings. I just started writing how I was feeling, what I was going through. And a friend of mine read it, and he said, "Yo, you should do something with this. Turn this into a movie." Like a movie?
Right.
Man, I ain't doing no. I don't know the first thing about no movie. And he said, "Man, you should do something with this." So, just as therapy, just being therapeutic, I just continue writing it out into a script. And me and a friend of mine, I went and bought some cameras up in New York from the B&H store, got a boom microphone. We held the auditions and we did a movie.
What was the name of the movie?
Life Isn't Fair.
Life Isn't Fair?
It was called Life Isn't
How did
Fair.
that turn out?
It turned out good. I actually stuck it in some film festivals and it won down in Georgia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was newest, highest achievement for a new filmmaker.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, wow, maybe I'm kind of good at this. So it became therapy, then it became a hobby.
Right.
Now it's really a profession.
So with this book right now, The Three OGs, it's out on Amazon and everything now?
Oh man, yeah, it's doing great on Amazon.
Oh,
right
yeah?
now,
How's it doing now?
It actually debuted #1 new release on Amazon American Literature category. So as of right now, I'm #1 on Amazon right now.
All right, congratulations. How that make you feel though?
Proud. Made me feel proud, especially where I come from. Things that I've been through in my life.
Right.
Growing up not thinking that I would ever be doing something like this. #1, but #2, to be able to have something that people want to see and want to support is just a blessing.
Well, let me ask you this.
itself.
How old are you?
46.
46. Now, how long you been writing, personally?
Seriously?
Yeah, like professionally.
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
So in those 9 years, I'm sure you have ran into some high producers, corporations and people like that, right?
Yeah.
Have you sat with them, talked with them about your work?
Yeah, countless times.
Yeah.
I
So
sat
so
with
how do you feel how they approach you about your work?
Well, first of all, if anybody approach you, that's a good thing because
Right.
they know of you, they know about
Okay.
you. But the conversation seemed not to go too far other than basically they want me to work for them with my own stuff, if you get what I'm saying.
So they want you to sell them your product, but work behind the scenes with them.
All right, just matter of fact, here, prime example, last night. I had a conference call last night. I was offered a number for my scripts. But I thought the number was extremely low for my scripts.
Right.
And basically, it's give them my scripts. They own my rights. They own everything. And I still work for my stuff with them having me under contract.
Right.
So if I want to go do something else, I have to ask permission from them. And if they do say yes, then they still get a percentage of what I get.
Wow.
It's a game.
Yeah,
man.
well, see, here's the
game.
thing. So what they offer you, it's not like they taking a shot at you. Is it standard? They offer that to everyone?
But to me, I don't.
No, I'm just saying, is it standard? Is it like standard practice with that company or that corporation that this is a standard contract that we offer everyone, whether they accept it or not?
To me, that word standard doesn't exist to me.
Okay.
Because it's something that was just made up. Let's just do this and stick with it.
Right.
But I'm not the standard
Right.
type of
I got you.
of
You got to come
individual.
outside the box with me.
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you're
Because
saying.
of my work. Because of my work, because of my track record, the things that I've been doing, things that I have accomplished
Right.
independently on my own. Getting my shows producing them myself, from Philadelphia to Broadway to off Broadway. I've been around the country, with my productions, independently doing it myself. So my meetings and my approach is a little different than somebody who only have scripts to offer somebody.
Right, I got
I
you.
have more than scripts to offer.
Right. Now, do these people understand that before you sit with them?
Of course they do. Of course they do. But, you have so many artists out here that's just thirsty for the fame, are not really paying attention to the fortune. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I definitely would love to have my stuff nationwide, worldwide, but I also want to be compensated for my work because I know my work.
That. Right.
know,
But see,
I know
it's
my
about
work.
branding.
Yeah.
Because I built Great Gateway, my organization, from the ground up. And no one can come to me and offer me a price because it's priceless. It's priceless.
But
You
see,
can't,
Trace, that's how I feel about my work.
Right.
It's priceless. I understand what my worth is. Even though you may not see it, or even if you do see it, but you figure, let me just throw a bone and see if he will bite on it.
Right.
But with me, I understand what my worth is. So until a situation works in our favor, then I'm gonna keep still, doing what I'm doing.
Now, from watching the news and stuff, right, you have a lot of, like, they ready to be dealing with this coronavirus stuff, right? Okay, the vaccine and all that stuff. And God willing, the stuff will start, subsiding, clearing up and stuff. And the city will open back up, right? What's your plan as a producer, writer, actor, activist, motivator, friend of Tracy L. Fisher, all that other stuff? What's your plans to get your message out to the community right now? Because we're hurting and we need some substance. You follow me?
Well, right now, for instance, like the book. Right now, this book is really being sold everywhere. And people are still getting the message. What I've had to do was just reinvent some things that I was doing, because once everything shut down, I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit and wait for something to happen. You have to be proactive, so you have to make something happen.
Right.
So what I did was I said, you know what? Since we can't do theater indoors, I'm gonna do an outside drive-in theater. And that's what I did. We did a beautiful, successful drive-in event in October. It was outside event. And in some plays that I've done, we're actually gonna be streaming them online in the upcoming weeks. So I'm still being active. Lawrence Theater Company and myself, we're still being out there while this whole
So
thing.
what's the name of your company?
Lawrence Theater Company.
Lawrence Theater
Company is a
okay.
nonprofit 501c3 tax exempt company that I formed in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah,
And how's that going?
it's going great.
Do you sign writers under you?
No, as of right now, it's just one writer. It's just me.
Right, okay.
It's just me.
But
I
you
love-
plan on to actually sit them down and bring some talent around you.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, to
yes.
give them that exposure.
Yes. Well, right now we, one of the things that I wanted to do with my theater company is give a lot of non-union actors and actresses an opportunity to show their talent.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. To give back to the community, because right now we're in a theater city where there's not too many places where we can perform.
Right.
There's a lot of politics and all of those things, and I try my best to avoid that, not even deal with that. So
Right.
you know what? I just create my own thing.
I remember a few years ago, you and I ran into each other. And I pitched the idea to you, and we loved it. We never got a chance to get to it. And Mike Tyson stole our idea. The one-man show.
Yeah.
And we was going to do the re-entry guy, remember? Mm-hmm. And I was going to literally explain re-entry from the day before I ever even got handcuffs on me, the mentality of it, to the community, leaving outside your house, coming off the steps, going into peer pressure to society with your friends and stuff, getting your first arrest and so forth and so on until you in the penitentiary, right? And explaining the effect that it had on the community, your family, yourself, your children, your associates, and so forth. And that we're still going to do it.
Yeah. That's
a powerful story. That's a drop, back. What do you call it? A drop back? What y'all call that? In the background of the story.
Oh, the backdrop.
The backdrop.
Yeah,
That's the backdrop.
Yeah.
Right. And you bring other people on, male and females, right, that's been affected by prison reform, because that's something in my life I'll never get away from. What in your life that you so passionate about that no matter how successful you become, you will never get away from that avenue of it?
Giving back.
My man.
Giving back has always been something that's very dear to me, because I remember when I didn't have, and there was some people who stuck their neck out on the line for me, and it meant a lot to me, and it didn't even have nothing to do with money.
Right.
Just sometimes just a conversation, just being there for somebody, when you're really going through something mentally or eternal. And sometimes just having somebody there for you, regardless how big he or she may be, they still feel like I'm never too big for him or her, because I know where I come from. And that's important to me.
Right.
And I was able to grow up in a neighborhood down in Fifth Street, where I had OGs who were very successful in their area, what they were doing. But when they came back to the neighborhood, they never appeared to be better than. It's just, what's up? It's me, the big homie.
Right.
And it's always all love. We sitting there, we're busting on each other. We talking about how, they used to sell shopping bags down 9th Street, playing bubblegum in the dish. It's real. It's real love.
Right.
And when I see how those OGs grew up and how they handle themselves, it's never about what you have, but it's about how to delegate yourself. It's how you delegate yourself. And if you have people who want to be around you, always talk positive and highly of you, to me, that means more to me than anything else. And that's why I still continue to give back. Whether it's my time, my resources. I actually give back, to my the senior building on 4th and Washington Avenue. I donate my food supplies. An organization donates to Lawrence Theater Company, and I donate the things to 4th and Washington. So
that's cool.
Man, I love it, man. Also kids too. I love talking to kids, man. Love helping them out, and also talking with them about the process of doing plays and stuff like that. I mean, I love it.
I remember when I realized my true passion for this. It started while I was incarcerated, but when I came home, like any other person, you need some finances to get stuff done. Well, at the time, my chief of staff then had double booked me, and I had to go speak at an event that I was getting paid for, and it was an event that I just had to make an appearance and speak to the youth, and that was free. And the other one, I was getting paid at that time, I think like $1,500 or whatever, and needed it. Believe what I tell you, needed it. And that was that defining moment. I never told that story. That was the defining moment in my life, in my mission, because I had to decide, do I make the right and go get the money, or do I stay straight and go speak from the heart?
Man, I love that story, man, because...
You follow me?
Yo, do I follow you? Listen, man, I turned down so much money because my dignity and my self-respect means more to me than just money. I could have been on TV on Hollywood years ago, but some of the things that I was approached with, some things that I was offered, I just couldn't do that to myself, nor to my family, nor to people who care for me, who helped me during this whole process. It's just some things, man. All money ain't good money.
That's right, and that's a true statement. And I felt so good. I felt so good when I was standing up there giving that speech, knowing the sacrifice that I made to get there, to give that speech, you know. And I think we rescheduled maybe, I think it was like a couple months later with the other people, you know, with my apologies and so forth, told them what happened. And here's the crazy part about the story, how God works. So it was $1,500, right, for the speech.
Yeah.
And that I didn't go get. I did the free speech. 2 months later, I go out and do the speech. And this was out Pittsburgh. So I go out Pittsburgh, and they invited me, my wife, and my chief of staff. Gave her her own room, and then my wife and I own room. And we stayed there for 3 days. No, 2 days. I apologize. 2 days. It was a conference of all youth centers like Glen Mills and all these other stuff from all over Pennsylvania.
Wait a second, wait. What year was that? Because I was
I'm
there.
going to tell you, this
I
was
was there.
This was like 2015, 2016.
That's where I was at. I was at the 78 Noble. Oh, what's it called?
I was the keynote speaker.
It was at the convention center.
I was the keynote speaker. Yeah.
Wow.
They had my big
Lennox,
poster up there.
Harry Lennox was there.
Yeah.
I spoke, and I actually did a seminar for the for one of the for the youth organizations too.
Yeah. I never forget it. And they only gave me $1,500, right? And when I left, you know, they get the envelope and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, I just, you know, gentleman, put it in my coat pocket, kept it moving, and it was a $3,500 check.
Wow, that's a blessing, man.
It was a
2013 is when I went.
It was a 35, cause they do it every year, whatever.
Yeah,
It was a $3,500 check. And I said, wow. And I drove all the way up, 5 hours up, 5 to 6 hours up, 5 to 6 hours back. But at that moment, that was the defining moment in my life though, of when I knew that this was more than money to me. This was more than trying to just make a living financially. And once you decide that, that's when the broke period comes. When you decide, I don't care about the finances, I just want to be able to help people, right? That's when it seemed like every bill you owe comes up. Everything around you just ain't going the way you think it should go. And financially, you struggle. But at that moment, that's the character builder.
Yeah, but see, you're always dealing with morals and the other thing. You know, do I go ahead and take this money and worry about that other stuff later? Or
Right.
is my morals and my integrity or my dignity and my self-respect more important than me than all that other stuff?
Right.
Because later on, all that other stuff will come. You just keep following your purpose. You keep doing your thing, and all that other stuff will happen.
So what's the next thing for
for
Lawrence, your Lawrence production?
Well, the next thing for Lawrence Theater Company right now is, like I said, we're going to be streaming 3 of my plays that I have done. We're going to be streaming Life Isn't Fair, Do You Trust Your Best Friend, and a show called Custody. So those are the 3 things that we're going to be streaming we're going to be streaming.
Now,
in the
all
very
these
near
people
future.
that's acting in this, are they from the community or are they from other places?
No, everybody that's in these productions that I'm streaming are all from Philadelphia.
From Philadelphia?
Yeah, or the Philadelphia area. You know, Philly,
Yeah, I got
Jersey,
you. I
Delaware.
understand. Tri-state.
Yeah, tri-state.
I got you.
Yeah, but that's one thing I try to do. I always try to, keep that a Philly base.
Yeah.
And also, I always try to use the same people because my theater company, we're more like family.
Right.
We bicker at times and stuff like that. What family does, but at the end of the day, I love those guys, man. They come, they put on an excellent show. They do excellent work for the theater company.
Right.
And we just basically just moving forward, man.
So I think I want to work with you with the reentry story, because everybody has their own reentry story. Similar.
But see,
So
but just the crazy thing though, Tracy. Well, when I was thinking of it, it was crazy. I said, man, you know what? Maybe I could take this serious, right? Because the first thing I ever done was a movie, right? I didn't do a short film. I ain't do a commercial. I ain't do nothing. I did a movie with no knowledge, no education, no nothing. And we won awards for it. So I said, you know what? Maybe if I try to put some energy and some effort into it, let's see what happens. One thing led to another. Yeah, I done hit my head a lot of times, you know, but it did not stop me. I just kept going, I kept pushing. And then when I saw how I was affecting other people, giving them opportunities to be on stage, taking them other places out of Philadelphia to perform, I was like, wow, that's really a cool feeling. I see it, they're happy, they on Instagram, they on Facebook, they on social media, like, yeah, we here, we doing our thing.
Performing.
And that was a good feeling for me because I could say I did that. You know, it was a proud moment for me. You know,
Right.
But I just kept going with it, man. And when I said to myself, you know what, I had an epiphany. I want to do a play. I would love to do a play at the Merriam Theater. I had a play at the Merriam Theater. You know, that's because I went to go see another play, and I'm visioning myself, my production on stage, my crew on stage, and I said, man, I want to have this. And I went and I did that. There were some national people who I wanted in my shows. Some of them I'm close friends with to this day. You know, music who I listen to.
Right.
I watched on TV. They personal friends of mine now. You know, so everything that I dreamed about that was so far-fetched, that was so crazy, and then who's to think that I would write a book and it become #1 on Amazon?
That's right.
I sure enough didn't think that, but I believed in myself. And I just kept working at it, and I just stayed loyal to my commitment, regardless of whatever was going on around me. I just stayed loyal to my
So let me ask you this: for the young ones that's looking now and wish to be inspired by a lifestyle of what you have done, what's your best advice you can give to them?
Man, the best advice that I could give to them, and this advice ain't gonna work for everybody.
Right, but just give them advice.
But for me, it was just being around good, positive people. That was important to me, is to be around positive people. And also, when everything seems to be so overwhelming, just get to yourself and by yourself. And that's what I did. I shut down and I stayed committed to my writing, because that's my outlet. You know, some people's outlet may be cooking or whatever their thing is, but for me, it was writing. That was my outlet. And if you have a God and believe in God, that's another thing that you need to do. You know, is have a faith. You know, and for me, that's what really kept me, was my faith, and also my belief in what I wanted to do, because I know if I went out in the streets and did something
You
stupid,
knew the end results of that.
I know the end results of that. So even to this day, when I sit there and I go through certain things, I just get to myself, I get in my little box, and I just think and I just write, I just meditate, and I just try to humble myself, because there's some things out there that will humble you. So
life will humble you.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I tell anybody that want to do something and want to pursue something, just do it. Just do it. Don't worry about if it don't happen. Just put your heart and your mind and your energy to it and just go for it.
So with my audience watching and everything, how can they get in touch with you, support what you do and stuff like that, like your Instagram, email, anything?
Okay, well,
like that?
my Instagram is Lawrence Theater Company. Lawrence Theater Company. Theater spelled with a R-E, not an E-R. And on Facebook, Darrell Lawrence, DERRELL, or LawrenceTheaterCompany.org is the website. And you could definitely leave me an email or anything like that. Yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, that's good, man. And I'm looking forward to actually working with you. And I was telling a good friend of ours, Donald Barry, about what I want to do.
Oh, big shout out to Don Barry,
absolutely.
man. Big shout out.
And what I want to do. And so you see how excited I was when I first met you and we just started talking. And I was like, you know, this guy got some great ideas, because I'm not a producer. I don't do film, you know, far as behind the scenes or whatever. But I know how to appear on stage. I know how to get my message out there. And when somebody's saying, hey, look, let me direct you, let me show you, because the audience that I want to reach, right, is the single mothers, as well as the fathers, but mainly the mothers, that has no clue what her son or daughter is doing when they shut that door behind them and walk out. And she assuming that they taking all of their upbringings that they gave them in the household with them when they leave out to go to school or whatever the situation may be. Then you find out later, like I'm watching the situation in Chicago right now, and the young guy got killed out there, whatever, and everybody on the instant media, Instagram and TikTok, all going crazy. And I did my homework, so I said, let me research this young man. He never met his father. He grew up in a gang area, so guarantee he was gonna be part of that. Okay, the people, he had no role models as far as positive images around him, so it was just a life waiting to be destroyed. And that's what happens in our community right now when you don't have no one or any organizations or people that can step in. You understand what I'm saying? See, and grab some of them.
You just said something. And I think the fathers need to be held more accountable for that. It's not just, the mothers, you just can't really put everything on the mothers. We really need to put these black men on blast, and they need to step up and start being fathers to these children. And for me, Tracy, that was a big thing for me. When I was a teenager, I was 18 when I had my first daughter. By the time I was 21, I had 2 girls. Regardless of whatever I did out in the streets, I made sure that I was a father to my children. I made sure that I was in their lives. That was important to me. And then with the transition of my sister, I realized, what? I want to be here for my children. I don't want to get caught up. So I did what I had to do. It wasn't even necessarily for me. It was to make sure that I was there for them. So certain things in my life I altered and changed just so I could be available for them.
Right.
And if you look at a lot of these kids, a lot of these young men that are in these gangs and things like that, I bet you more than half don't have a dad at home.
Right. And that's the point that I was making, because when you have the single parents, right, especially the mothers, right, either the dad is incarcerated or has been murdered or is in the streets and does not set responsibility of what he should be accepting responsibility of. It still don't change the fact that these women need help. You follow me? We can say all day the father should step up. I agree 100% with you. They should step up. But what about the ones that's not stepping up and the mother is still sitting there saying, where do my help come from?
Gotcha.
Because one thing, right, a woman cannot teach a man to be a man.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this, my dad was murdered when I was 9, right? So I grew up without a father.
Right.
So the males who I did look up to, mainly, my brother who I love to death, there's a lot of males who showed me love. But it was the other type of love that they showed me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I
got you.
So like you said, with that positivity, that positive male figure, we definitely
have
need.
to get back to that.
What I try to do my best. Now I ain't gonna say I walk around as a saint, because I have my faults and my issues.
Everybody does.
But I try my best just to set some type of positive example, man, to these young kids, man.
So on that note right there, I want to thank you, my man Darrell Lawrence, for coming. The book 3 OGs, you can get it off of Amazon.com. Also, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your heart. And I can tell you really believe in what you're talking about. So we definitely going to promote you and push that right there. This is Tracy L. Fisher, every entry point of view, unapologetic.